Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. It is the 12th of May. I'm going to have to pay our newsroom personnel overtime because they are on top of it as far as traffic goes. That big story, the brush fire up in the upper Keys, 18-mile stretch, Everglades as well, smoke causing some problems. Both lanes, northbound, southbound, US 1 and Card Sound Road, are currently open, but that could change at a moment's notice, especially if the wind shifts. So our newsroom and traffic department will keep us updated as those conditions and openings do change from time to time. We're going to say good morning to Emily Schemper. She is the Director of Growth Management for Monroe County. Good morning to you, Emily.
Good morning.
Yeah, so as you said, you're not trying to get to the mainland today, but it is a tricky go getting to and from, especially up and down the 18-mile stretch in Card Sound Road. But a lot of people could be affected by that today.
Definitely. I know we have staff who come down from up there and they are watching the wind, watching the traffic. They're making sure they don't get stuck down here as well.
Yeah, well, certainly we keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Everybody to be safe. Fires about 50% contained right now, the major fires. Let's talk about habitats, though. Habitat Conservation Plan. We're going to get right into that. Big Pine Key and No Name Key. That's been in the news. We talked about it a little bit last time, but explain fully what the plan is, or as fully as we can here, and then what is going to be happening as far as community involvement.
Yes, we did talk about this last time. Since then, we have a little more certainty from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service about how things are going to work. So the Habitat Conservation Plan and Incidental Take Permit for Big Pine and No Name Keys, which is a plan that talks about impacts to endangered species, the key deer, the Lower Keys marsh rabbit, eastern indigo snake. That all expires on June 30 of this year. So staff's been working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and with FEMA, because they're involved in a sense as well, to determine how we're going to deal with certain types of permit reviews on Big Pine after that. What we have come to an agreement on, we're still waiting for the official letter announcing this, but what the agreement at this point is that those will be transitioned to review under the county-wide permit referral process. So people who have gone through permitting are familiar with this. A county-wide for a set of, I think it's 9 endangered species, including those other 3. County-wide, you have to go through a process where it's determined whether or not they have to do extra consultation with U.S. Fish and Wildlife. The Fish and Wildlife Service has agreed that we can transition the Big Pine permits into that process for those 3 species that were previously covered by the Habitat Conservation Plan. One of the big questions from the community, though, has been a cumulative cap on species impacts that was established in the Habitat Conservation Plan. Will that continue? Will it be tracked? How will they decide how much impact is too much impact? What the Fish and Wildlife Service has told us is they will incorporate that same cumulative impact cap into the permit referral process for those species. So that will still be tracked in the same way. It's almost like an extension, but they're rolling it into this other process. So that's good. What was also in that Habitat Conservation Plan was a set number of new residential units. That was really initially set by our own ROGO process, but it equaled out to about 200 units over a 20-year period. That was consistent with what we were giving out, limited amount through our ROGO process for Big Pine and No Name Keys. But they evaluated species impacts and had it all set up for a maximum impact and mitigation associated with that. They have agreed that we could increase that residential unit cap in order to continue giving out permits for 10 more years with our new set of ROGO allocations that the state offered up and finally approved last year. But those will only be allowed if we still remain under that cap on the impacts to the species and the habitat. I know that's a lot.
Wow.
We've scheduled a community meeting in person on Big Pine That's going to be Thursday, May 28th in the evening, 5:30 to 7:30. We're going to host it at St. Peter's Church. And that will be an in-person meeting where we'll talk a little bit about the history of the Habitat Conservation Plan, how it's expiring and what the changes will be going forward, how that's going to work. We'll talk about the impacts, all the mitigation land that's already been bought. It will be an opportunity for owners and residents to ask questions, give some input, and try to understand how this process will change going forward. People who cannot attend in person will be able to attend virtually the Board of County Commissioners meeting following that. That's on June 10, their normal meeting. That, of course, is always available to either watch online or participate by Zoom if there's comments. So we're trying to give people a chance to ask questions and comment and get as much information out there as possible.
Yeah, well, information will be needed. It still is very involved, a little bit confusing, but that's the purpose of the community meeting to be held. You said May 28th, correct?
May 28th, Thursday evening, 5:30 to 7:30 at St. Peter's Church.
And this potentially affects Big Pine Key and No Name Key then as far as habitat restoration.
Correct. Those species are already covered for the other keys through the permit referral process. So we're just rolling the Big Pine stuff into that existing process.
Yeah. So the stipulations will be eventually similar to what the rest of the keys experience now. Is that accurate?
Yes and no. So it's similar to what the rest of the keys goes through in terms of permitting, but we will still have a specific limit on impacts to the species for Big Pine and No Name Key. And I know that was very important to some of the community members who have asked questions already. So U.S. Fish and Wildlife will continue to track that and have that cap at this point. So
is that in for special consideration for, say, some of the species specific to that area, like the No Name or like the key deer, that kind of thing? Is that how that came about?
Yes, it was very specific to the key deer. It also included impacts to Lower Keys marsh rabbit and eastern indigo snake, but the main focus was the key deer. Yeah.
Well, they need our protection, that's for sure. And this is a worthwhile process, but an involved one. So again, to find out more, the community meeting will be held on May 28th. And the expiration of the current plan is June 30th. So, Emily, we appreciate you helping us understand this and unpack it. I'm sure people will continue to have questions. Can they reach out to your office or any other county personnel should they have specific questions for their particular circumstance?
Yes, the Environmental Resources Office, they can call 305-289-2500. Michael Roberts is our Assistant Director for Environmental Resources. He is a good contact for questions. They can also call me or email me directly. They can use that same number to find me, depending on where I am that day. But we're more than happy to answer questions and go through things because it is very complicated and very confusing.
Yes. Emily Schemper with us. She is Director of Growth Management for Monroe County. On Good Morning Keys, well, in July 2025, if I'm reading that correctly, the Board of County Commissioners directed Planning and Environmental Resources to proceed with an amendment to the county's Land Development Code. There it is again, to create specific regulations pertaining to stationary food trucks in unincorporated Monroe County. A series of workshops and online survey were used to gather community members' insights into the impact of the proposed regulations, and now a text amendment process. Next step to the text amendment process, is hosting a community meeting. And here comes another community meeting meant to provide some clarity to this issue as the drafted regulations are presented and attendees have an opportunity to provide feedback. So this community meeting will be held May 21st via Zoom at 5:05 p.m. You can find out more at the Monroe County website, monroecounty-fl.gov/calendar, and that will commence at 5:05 p.m. May 21st. So again, the food truck issue now is what we're starting to try to understand and see how that will affect those in that line of work, et cetera. But again, that is a virtual meeting May 21st.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to make sure people understand that we held the previous workshops and the survey to gather information. This is a different meeting where staff will actually present a draft amendment to our code with regulations specific to food trucks that are not temporary food trucks. So it's important, even if people participated in the workshops or took the survey, attend this meeting if you want to hear now what the draft regulations will be.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like we've been talking about this issue that long, but it was back in July 2025. That's what gave me pause when they first directed Planning and Environmental Resources, that directive coming from VOCC, and now we have a draft that will be read and discussed as well. So again, go to the county website, Monroe County, where did it go? Yeah, monroecounty-fl.gov/calendar. That Zoom meeting, 5:05 p.m. the 21st. So lots of information coming out, lots of information to digest. And Emily, we appreciate you helping us understand a lot of the intricacies here. But those are two big issues of import for our listeners. Is there anything else, though, that we should discuss at this time?
No, those are my main topics this morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks so much for being here. Please be safe out in your travels. And again, we appreciate all that you're doing to help us understand all of these complex issues. We appreciate you being here this morning. You have a wonderful day, Emily.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Take care. It is Emily Schemper. She is Director of Growth Management, Monroe County. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And yes, those Florida wildfires in South Florida, they do include the Florida Keys. Significant smoke, road closures, air quality concerns. The major fires, they do say here at this report now, are largely under control. The 344 fire burning over 26,000 acres in southern Miami-Dade, Florida along U.S. Highway 1. They say that has been brought under control and is 80% contained, according to this report. The national fire in the Big Cypress National Preserve has expanded to 25,000 acres. They say that's 0% contained. We'll continue to follow any updates that are available on those fires and how it affects us here in the Keys, including traffic up and down US 1 and the 18-mile stretch. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. We will be back in a moment.
In the Florida Keys, there's a name people trust for pool construction and remodels, Islamorada Pools. For years, residential and commercial property owners from Key Largo to Key West have trusted their team to design, build, remodel, and repair some of the most beautiful pools in the islands. Building a brand new backyard retreat, transforming an aging commercial pool, they bring craftsmanship experience and attention to every detail. They're local, they live here year-round, and they know what it takes to build and renovate pools that stand up to the Keys climate while delivering true luxury and long-term durability. From new construction and remodels to repairs, equipment upgrades, and decorative concrete, every detail matters. Your pool should reflect the quality of your property. Islamorada Pools makes that happen. Call 305-852-3133. Visit their showroom at 86701 Overseas Highway, Suite 103 in Islamorada, or online at islamorada.pools.com. Islamorada Pools, trusted, local, and built for the Keys.
Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold, delicious ground coffee, always brewing, and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now, Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in store with 24 hours advance notice. Enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. Old Town Bakery, KeyWest.com.
The IRS can take your bank account, You heard me right. The IRS can take your bank account. My name is Steve Klitzner. I'm a Miami tax attorney who helps people and businesses who owe money to the IRS. There are 3 things the IRS can do to make your life miserable. They can take all the money in your bank account, they can take your wages, and they can take your passport. If you owe the IRS money, give me a call and let's work together to stop these things from happening to you. Call me at 305-682-1118 for a free confidential consultation, and we will fight to keep the IRS out of your pocketbook and out of your life. The IRS has great power, but taxpayers have great rights, and I can help you enforce them. The sooner the better. Call me today at 305-682-1118. That's 305-682-1118.
Do you want a reliable, fast, and convenient way to travel between the mainland and the Keys? The Dade Monroe Express is your solution. Service runs early morning through late evening, 7 days a week. Whether you're commuting or just visiting, Dade Monroe Express has got you covered. And the best part? You can try it for free. Visit trytransitfree.com and select Dade Monroe Express. Don't wait. Discover a stress-free way to travel to and from the Keys. The Dade Monroe Express is operated by Miami-Dade Transit.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We are going to say good morning to the lovely Nikki, the nurse practitioner. And good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
I am doing well. Once again, you can see Nikki as she imparts more information and knowledge upon us. We have Keys Living TV featuring Good Morning Keys and Medical Matters, 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily, locally, channel 27 over the air, and Roku streaming, as well as on your phone app. Just get your mobile device app at your favorite app store for free download, Keys Living TV. So it is brought to you, Medical Matters, that is brought to you by the Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa, 3134 Northside Drive in Key West. Exceptional care close to home. We are going to talk about sunscreen, photo protection, and protecting your sun. You know, we're supposed to get to 91 degrees today, Nikki. It was like 85 even before the sun came up. That means the sun's going to be pretty hot. We need to talk about photo protection. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's a little roasty out there. You know, Mother's Day weekend, Mike booked us brunch at the Casa Marina, and they tried to sit us outside.
Oh, that's what I want to do is sweat on Mother's Day. Yeah.
He lost his mind. He was like, absolutely not.
Would you put your mother outside on a day like that?
No.
No.
He's like, I'm not sitting out here. Anyway, yeah, sunscreen, photo protection. And we were not protected at all because I was not planning on sitting outside.
Just as long
It
as
was
your
hot.
husband was not like, didn't disturb the peace and disorderly.
No. But
Rest
he was.
reports here, but
No.
close. Anyway, sunscreen, photo. I hope you had a nice Mother's Day, by the way.
I did. It was good.
Good. So, yeah, this affects every single person living in Florida, the Florida Keys. Sunscreen and photo protection. We are exposed to that sun almost year round, and Mother's Day, of course, no exception. Too much ultraviolet radiation, UV radiation, can cause premature aging, sunburn, pigmentation issues, skin cancer. None of it good. So what is photo protection?
So it's one of the most important things we could do to protect our skin and overall skin health. I picked this topic because last week we talked about skin cancer, and May is Skin Cancer and Melanoma Awareness Month. So let's jump into what photo protection is. I guess I never realized there was a name for what photo protection is. It's protecting your skin from skin damage caused by the UV light from the sun, and it's clothing. So when we talk about the clothing that has SPF or UV protection, that's photo protection. Aha! It was an aha moment for me this morning.
I didn't know it either. Same
No,
here.
see, everything has a name. So photo protection includes hats, sunglasses, UPF clothing, seeking shade, obviously. Maybe we should go back to carrying umbrellas, those shade umbrellas.
Yeah, they were not only elegant, but practical.
Yes. Avoiding peak sun hours, window protection. You know, I've talked about it before that you are in your car, and even though you're driving, you are still exposed to the sun while driving in the car. And of course, daily sunscreen use. So a lot of people think sunscreen is only for the beach, but honestly, UV protection or UV exposure, excuse me, happens every day. Driving, walking the dog, boating, fishing, even sitting by windows. And I in my when I do consults, I talk to people when I talk to people about sunscreen, I'm like, even when you're running errands, running in and out of the stores, the grocery stores, or you just think, hey, I gotta run downtown for a minute, I'm gonna park the car and walk 2 blocks, but I'm not really gonna be in the sun, you're in the sun.
It
You're in the sun.
It happens really fast. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, you get a UV exposure very quickly, and it can do a lot of damage very quickly as well. Medical Matters brought to you by the Key West Surgical Group Incorporated in MedSaw with Dr. Rhoda Smith, providing that exceptional care close to home for many years. KeyWestSurgicalGroup.com online. UVA versus UVB. Apparently, there's a difference.
Yes, there is. So UVB rays, they are the rays that cause the sunburn, damage the outer layers of the skin, and play a major role in skin cancer. UVA rays, they penetrate deeper. That's what causes the collagen breakdown. That's what leads to wrinkles and photoaging and worsening of pigmentation and worsening of melasma. UVA can actually penetrate through the clouds and glass, which I've talked about before. That's why daily protection is needed even when it's cloudy or you're indoors near windows.
Okay, SPF. You've mentioned it before. Still, people are probably not quite up to speed as far as what it means. Sun protection factor. So, what's the important parts to know about this?
Okay, so the SPF or sun protection factor, it mainly measures protection against UVB rays, which are the burning rays, like we just said. So, what's the important part? When you see SPF 15, 30, or 50, I always ask, what can I use? Can I just use 15? And I'm not really sure why people would rather choose less than more. I feel like sometimes I'm bargaining with them, like the difference in them makes a difference. But it does make a difference, but it's better for you to use the higher SPF. So SPF of 15 blocks about 93% of the UVB rays, where 30 blocks 97% and 50 blocks 98%. Even though you'll see SPF of 100, there is no sunscreen that blocks at 100%. So obviously, the higher the SPF, the better the protection.
So, American Academy of Dermatology recommends broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher, means for both UVA and UVB rays.
Rays.
Very.
Reese.
Ooh, I've been in the sun too long. Oh my. Medical Matters brought to you by the Key West Surgical Group Incorporated in Med Spa. Exceptional care close to home, providing that exceptional care for many years. Dr. Rhoda Smith taking care of our medical matters for all of those years, and we thank her for that. So, misinformation online about sunscreens, chemical versus mineral. Let's break down the difference there.
So, mineral sunscreens contain zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. They sit on the skin and help reflect and absorb UV rays. Chemical sunscreens absorb the UV radiation and convert it to heat. Neither one, I should category, neither one is automatically bad. The best sunscreen is the one that you wear consistently. For sensitive skin, rosacea, melasma, post-procedure patients that get laser, mineral sunscreens are often better tolerated because they're less irritating to the skin. I know down here a lot of chemical sunscreens because of the chemicals that are in them. They're worried about, our reef protection and so forth. So I do have people that have come in and seen me and they're like, I'd rather not wear sunscreen. I don't want to hurt the environment. I'm like, I'd really rather you wear just like zinc on your face, something,
Okay.
zinc on your body, something.
Yeah, why not? Looks good.
Something is better than nothing, of course. So just know, like, when you see broad spectrum, again, that means it's protecting against both the harmful rays, the UVA and the UVB rays.
Okay, so in the Keys, we have the risk even more so with sun damage.
Yes, we have, as everybody knows, we have very intense UV exposure. We're closer to the equator. Yay. We spend more time outdoors. We do our restaurants and everything. Everything is geared to being outside. We like to spend a lot of time in the water, by the sand, and on a boat. So that reflects the sunlight even more. Boating boating exposure is constant, actually. And it is, because if you're sitting on the boat, I mean, you could be under a canopy, but normally canopies aren't big enough to have everybody under them. If you're sitting up at the front, the rays from the water is beating down on you from the top, and you're getting it again from the reflection of the water. So make sure you're protected.
Okay.
And this, I know we said umbrellas, but you can even get UV exposure under an umbrella or on cloudy days. Again, it's the reflection. Like if you're sitting on the beach under an umbrella, the sand is reflecting the sun out to
Lovely.
you.
There's no escaping, that's for
No.
sure. So aging, everyone wants to know about wrinkles. Photo aging includes what?
So one of the biggest causes of premature aging is sun exposure. Photo aging, the name includes the wrinkles, the brown spots, the uneven skin tone, loss of elasticity, broken blood vessels. I see this a lot, and crepey skin. So I know I've talked about when we have all our different lasers. Our one laser, the Elite IQ, targets melanin, and it targets hemoglobin to help treat those broken blood vessels in the skin. Usually you'll see them on the nose and in the cheeks. Almost everybody has it that has lived down here for an extended period of time, or if they were born and raised down here, it's from chronic exposure to the sun. And of course, that crepey skin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crepey.
Well, creepy.
Crepey skin.
It can be creepy, yes.
Yeah.
Nikki, the nurse practitioner with us, Key West Surgical Group Incorporated, a med spa, 3134 Northside Drive in Key West. And Nikki, this is a ton of information, which is very, very important. And I might suggest that we carry this over to next week's session as well, because we have a lot more to get to. This is very important. And as you said, it affects each and every person listening and watching us here today. But maybe we could kind of close this. We talked about the keys and skin damage and photo aging, of course, reminding people that there are some remedies, and very good ones, for aging skin and wrinkles and the like. And that is available through 3 very sophisticated laser processes, as well as RF microneedling, all exclusively at the Key West Surgical Group Incorporated in Med Spa.
That is correct. Like we said, sun damage causes multiple different areas, within the skin of sun damage, whether it's pigmentation, it's the crepiness, it's the wrinkles. So all our devices help to target each and one of all of those things that could be going on at your skin. It's usually not one problem, it's multiple problems at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, you can come in, we can do a consultation, and I can tell you all about it.
Yeah, free consultation as well.
That is correct.
Key West Surgical Group Incorporated in Med Spa. You can call them at 305-294-1041. They're at 3134 Northside Drive in Key West with exceptional care, very close to home. KeyWestSurgicalGroup.com online. So yes, a good place to pick up next week, if you don't mind, would be melasma and pigmentation. You just mentioned it, and there are remedies for that pigmentation, but really the best practice is prevention. So maybe, if you don't mind, we'll close out with asking the question and answering the question: how much sunscreen should people use?
That is a good question. Do you want me to answer it, or we're going to do it next week?
Well, yeah, we'll keep them interested for next week by talking further about pigmentation, sunscreens, and the like, but and spray sunscreens, all that. But let's leave them with a take home. Take home
with fingers. So if you're just doing your face, 2 finger lengths of sunscreen. I would say your two fingers.
Like and for not width, right? Like
length, yes, length of sunscreen. And then for the body, this should be fun. A shot glass. Carry a shot glass to the beach. Put some sunscreen in it. And then dab your body with the sunscreen when you have a shot glass. Have one for your tequila and one for your sunscreen.
Don't get the two confused, please. Putting tequila on your body and sunscreen in your mouth
would be very bad.
Magic ending. Yes,
yeah,
it would. But yeah, go ahead.
The biggest mistake that people don't do is reapply. You should reapply every 2 hours, outdoors or sooner, if swimming or sweating. So yes.
Perfect. That is very helpful advice. And we'll continue this discussion again next week with Medical Matters. Again, it is very applicable as you apply your sunscreen. We can also apply more knowledge to you next week with Medical Matters. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah. So
Sounds good.
Again, one last reminder, free consultation to get all of your skin concerns addressed with aesthetics at Key West Surgical Group Incorporated in Med Spa, 305-294-1041, keywestsurgicalgroup.com online, and it is exceptional care, very close to home. So, Nikki, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And you have that particular glow. I know how you did it. So we'll talk about that as well. Great.
All right. Okay.
Talk to you soon. Take care.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. It is Nikki, the nurse practitioner, with us. Key West Surgical Group Incorporated and Med Spa, keywestsurgicalgroup.com online. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. Keep tabs on traffic here as we go through the morning. Those wildfires still affecting things, but so far at this point, north and southbound US 1 and Cart Sound Road, both open. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. We're back in a moment.
Hey Key West, Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends, 512 Front Street in Old Town, Key West, or twofriends.com.
It's almost time. The Lower Keys Chamber of Commerce 33rd Annual Dolphin Tournament is happening June 5th, 6th, and 7th. Book your chance at a $10,000 grand prize for the largest dolphin caught, plus cash prizes for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, awesome trophies, and extra prizes just for the youth division. Sign up before the end of May to save $50 on your registration. Now at lowerkeyschamber.com or call 305-872-2411. Sponsored by Lower Keys Tackle and the Monroe County Tourist Development Council.
Let's talk trash. I'm Taylor Conrath, and my family's been taking care of your family's trash for years. In fact, we've operated Marathon Garbage Service and kept the Middle Keys clean since my great-grandpa, John Conrath, founded the company in 1950. That's a lot of years talking trash and hauling trash. And these days, we take care of your family's recyclables in addition to commercial and residential waste removal. The Conrath family and our entire team of great employees takes pride in keeping our community clean, from the north end of the 7 Mile Bridge to Craig Key. Now it's my generation of Conraths working together with my grandfather and my dad to continue the tradition and commitment started in 1950 at Marathon Garbage Service. The Conrath family is always there for your family. If you need to talk trash, just call us at 305-743-5165. That's 305-743-5165. Or visit us at 4290 Overseas Highway in Marathon and online at marathongarbageservice.com.
Attention Key West! The Rotary Club of Key West invites you to step into the speakeasy as they present the Roaring 20s Casino Night, Saturday, May 16th from 6:30 to 11 p.m. at Beachside Resort. This isn't just another fundraiser, it's your night, Key West, where the clinking of conch chips meets the swell of live jazz from the Key West Jazz Society, and where every roll of the dice and flip of a card sends another local student closer to their dreams. Enjoy tastings and sips from Naughty Beach Rum and El Bandito Tequila, as well as non-alcoholic beverages, a 360-degree photo opportunity, a live raffle and auction, prizes for the best costume, and of course, what's a casino night without a variety of casino games? Proceeds from this event funds Rotary Foundation scholarships, giving our community students the support they deserve. Pre-sale early bird tickets available now for $100, which includes $150 in conch chips, or purchase at the door for $150, which includes $100 in conch chips. Step back in time for the Key West Rotary Club's Roaring 20s Casino Night, Saturday night, May 16th. For tickets and more information, visit kwrotarycasinonight.org. Special thanks to title sponsor Hank's Hair of the Dog Saloon.
In Key West, getting around should feel simple, and it is, with Key West Transit by your side. For years, we've helped locals and visitors move through the island with ease, and we're here to keep you moving forward. Whether you're catching the Workforce Shuttle, riding the Lower Key Shuttle, or booking a quick trip with Key West Rides on Demand, there's a ride that fits your day.
Wherever you're headed, start your trip at kwtransit.com. That's kwtransit.com.
Good morning, Keys, on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
It's time to say good morning to Lynn Landry, former mayor of the city of Marathon, member of the city council. And good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Michael.
Hi.
Glad to have me on this morning.
Yes, thanks so much for being here. We've got a busy day in the city of Marathon and busy times in general. We've got a meeting of the city council tonight, and that's going to happen at at 5:30. In Chambers, looks like.
Yes, yeah, I got a meeting tonight at 5:30. A couple of fun things we do is we're doing a guidance clinic. It's their 53rd anniversary. We're doing a mental health awareness month proclamation.
Yes.
And then, a couple other informational things with the Keys 100 that's coming through the Keys on May 16th. It looks like we're going to have some kind of a discussion about the golf course again, which I'm not sure what that's going to be. We'll find that out tonight. And then hopefully we'll get an update with the city manager, where we're at with all that, PIO, and also a fire discussion. Along with some other stuff that's coming through. We have a watershed management plan that we're hopefully going to approve tonight that will get us a few more points toward our CRS rating for the community that gives us discounts on our insurance.
Okay, very good. Well, and not to bring up old wounds or whatever, but every time I hear that something is coming up that we'll find out more about it when it comes up in the meeting, we never quite know what's going to happen. We've had a few of those throw some curveballs. But as a result, we are searching for a new city manager. That search is ongoing. Just hired a new public information officer due to the exit of the previous one, and then the fire chief search will commence as well. So I've got some positions to fill, some ongoing searches moving forward.
Well, absolutely. Yes, that'll be interesting. We get to add as council members, we can add items under council for discussion items, which we've done pretty much every meeting to discuss. Most of the time when we add these on last minute or with no real context to it, we'll discuss it at the meeting and usually give staff direction on what to do moving forward, if any at all. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that. And also, we did an impact fee study, which is something we haven't done in a very long time. Hopefully we'll adopt that. We see some deficiencies in our impacts that we charge, impact fees for public safety, parks and rec, and roads. Doesn't really make a huge impact on our overall capital infrastructure, but it does help us move forward with some of the projects and some of the things we're trying to do in the future.
Okay, very good. Looks like there's some resolutions regarding Florida Keys Health and Housing, construction costs for some 12 units there. So that's some positive movement as well. And let's see the other thing that I saw. Well, we've got a draft budget meeting. Apparently, it's going to be budget time again before we know it.
It seems like as soon as we finish the budget and enact one, we're starting on the next one. At least staff is anyway. But yeah, it's this will be the meeting where we kind of set our draft meetings or budget meetings for our draft budget and all the workshops and everything for that. We'll go over that tonight and try to get that on the calendar as official, so everybody will know what we're doing and when we're doing it as far as the budget goes.
Yeah, the state legislature back in session as of today. I believe they do not have a budget yet at this point. Are there any red flags coming out of Tallahassee that may affect Marathon either way? That could be a concern. I think they're getting close to getting some consensus there, but and property tax discussion doesn't seem to be as imperative or as alarming as it once was. But is there anything that's of a concern to the council as we watch the legislature try to finalize a budget?
At this moment, I'm not aware of any, but you never know until the budget's finalized. We have some stuff in the budget for stewardship and some other things that we're watching. But once it's approved, then it has to go to the governor, and he can veto line item or full measures of whole sections, which he did last year. So we're looking at that, but you never really know until it's actually finished if it's going to really have any impacts on the city of Marathon. But I'm assuming that they're going to find a happy medium. But it's paramount because they have to have all this done by June 1st.
Yeah.
And we were just discussing, we're not exactly sure what happens if that doesn't happen, but they're supposed to have it done by June 1st.
They're supposed to. One way or another, they'll probably figure out a way to get it done, but we will see. Again, Lynn Landry, former mayor of the city of Marathon, current city council member on Good Morning Keys. Also a reminder, the Keys 100 race happens May 16th this weekend. 7:15 a.m. setup, 9 a.m. a 50-mile race will start. 100-mile running timing station will close at 11 p.m. So that is this weekend. There's thousands of runners that are going to be taking part in that, staggered throughout the Keys. But again, please do drive carefully. We'll continue to look for further updates on the various positions that are being sought and working to fill in the city, as we mentioned earlier. It does look like the approval of the Marathon High School homecoming parade, that at least should not be a controversial item on the agenda. So we'll be looking.
I would think not. It's on consent, so that'll be good. One other thing I'd like to mention is that we have a resolution 2026-45
yes,
to approve the design build contract with Platform Group, who is building our skate park, to move forward with the splash pad. If we approve that tonight, they'll have all the go ahead and start building that splash pad, which is something, we had a $500,000 donations through the United Way that helps fund that. So we're gonna have to put a little money out of capital infrastructure, and it looks like we've saved some money on other projects that we'll be able to put toward that. So looking forward to that moving forward. I hope we approve it tonight and get that thing going. I think it'll be a good addition to this community.
Yeah, the splash pad will be another great addition to the community. I was at the Leadership Monroe event about a week and a half ago, and first time I was able to spend some time under the Tiki Hut, which is not really aptly named. It's a Tiki monstrosity, 5,000 square feet. What a beautiful space back behind City Hall that has become, in addition to our community park in Marathon. So again, another project that has been a positive impact on the community.
Absolutely. That has been a great addition to the community. One of the things we did, we had the neon light skating event about a month or so ago, and what a great venue to have it there under the Tiki Hut with all the neon lights on the skates and everybody wearing neon with black lights under the Tiki. Great community event. Our community events committee is doing a fantastic job. And I believe in June, I think it's June 13th, we're having a Havana Nights back there as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting event.
Yeah, that should be very, very fun. So we'll continue to update the community on that. Again, Lynn Landry, former mayor of the city of Marathon, city council member on Good Morning Keys. Well, Lynn, I know you've got a busy day to get to, especially with the meeting tonight. All are encouraged and welcome to take part in that. 5:30 tonight at the City of Marathon City Hall. Anything else we should mention at this time, sir?
No, just stay involved in the city, come out. I know all five of us on city council are very open to community input. We're an open book. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. Attend the meetings or watch them online. We do stream them online as well. So
yes, sir.
Meeting again tonight at 5:30.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for taking the time to be here and visit with us, Lynn. We appreciate your service to our community ongoing, and have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you, Michael. You as well.
Thank you. Take care. Lynn Landry, former mayor of the city of Marathon and city council member on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. Looks like we're going to have another traffic update coming up for you here as things continually change, especially due to the wildfires up the Keys. But we'll be back in just a moment. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys.
The Key Largo Chamber of Commerce invites you to join them for their exciting monthly networking events. Members and non-members alike can enjoy a monthly networking luncheon on the second Thursday of every month, as well as an evening Members in Motion event on the fourth Thursday of the month. To register for Key Largo Chamber of Commerce events or to find out more information about this vital growing business organization, go to keylargochamber.org. That's keylargochamber.org.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready?
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4 Star Rentals. 4 Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. Bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-star rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-star rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Keys Auto Center, the Keys hometown dealership.
Hey folks, it's Stephen Bender at Key West Toyota. With record sales and our largest inventory ever, we've got the Toyota for you. And with our local deal match guarantee, you'll get the right deal without the Miami hassle. So come see the people you know, like, and trust at Key West Toyota on the Boulevard or at keywesttoyota.com. We've got the keys.
Key West is on the move with Key West Rides. Our transit service is customized for your transportation needs. With the Key West Rides app, you choose your bus stop pickup and drop-off locations, and you ride the bus on your own schedule. You can book a ride for now or book one for later. Key West Rides operates daily from 6 a.m. to 8:15 p.m. Download the app now and customize your ride with Key West Rides.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
We are going to say good morning to Commissioner Sam Kaufman. He is Commissioner for the City of Key West District 2 and also mayoral candidate coming up this year. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Michael, and to all your listeners.
Yes, thanks so much for being here. And again, we'll remind folks that they can watch our discussion with Commissioner Kaufman on Keys Living TV, available locally over the air, Channel 27 from Marathon to Key West, also available on Roku streaming worldwide and free download at your app store for your mobile device, Keys Living TV. So thank you, sir, for being here. Lots of news items to get to that do affect our fair city of Key West. First off, there was a discussion about the new grand jury report. Of course, this is the second grand jury report directed towards the city of Key West. We had a fairly lengthy discussion at the May 7th City Commission meeting just the other day. And those jurors for the grand jury cited concerns with the city's organizational structure, the land development regulations, which have been called confusing, and the handling of the planning board and variance applications. There's a lot to unpack there, but you, of course, were at the center of a lot of those discussions and how we can take those recommendations and move forward.
Absolutely. And Michael, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and your listeners, because these issues are so important to our community. And the big picture is we're still in the process of trying to restore public trust in City Hall. Remember, just a year ago, we had 3 public officials taken out of City Hall in handcuffs and indicted, and we needed to make the necessary changes in City Hall so these types of misconduct would not happen again. And so it's very unusual for a city to have even one grand jury report making statements about improvements and highlighting inefficiencies and problematic instances in how government is organized. Yet here we have a second report that, as you know, came out within the last month. And so I'm happy to talk about it, and I'm happy to answer your specific questions. But, there's a lot to it. And, one good thing is, and anyone out there who would want to contact me, I'd love to share a copy of the report. It's 8 to 9 pages, and it's very clearly written, and you yourself as a listener and as a community member can read exactly what the grand jury said.
Yes, Sam Kaufman, he is City Commissioner District 2, also running for mayor in the upcoming election on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. So the first grand jury report, Sam, the city website cites as about 91% completion as to their recommendations. But yet there was a second grand jury report that says there's other need for improvement. So that is really where we're kind of focused right now. And the city commission meeting did talk about a way forward. You're taking a very active role, actually going to be working with the city attorney, Ms. Downs, on ways to move forward and possibly have a formalized template according to this. Let's talk about that and your, some of your concerns as to what came out of that new grand jury report, and then what is the path forward.
Right. And I most respectfully disagree with the city website that 91% of the first grand jury recommendations were implemented. Anyone who takes an objective, fair-minded review of that will understand where I'm coming from. And I think there's a lot of frustration in the community because overall there just seems to be a lack of openness, a lack of encouragement of public participation, a lot of decisions that are being made, whether it's Mallory Square, whether it's Higgs Beach, whether it's the new fire assessment tax, whatever it is, it just seems like the public doesn't have enough information. And so structurally, as far as city government is concerned, the first grand jury report had several very specific recommendations, and all of those recommendations were not implemented. For example, the first grand jury said you should have an internal auditor. Have an auditor that oversees your operations, that takes grievances and complaints seriously, that looks for inefficiencies. And for whatever reason, my colleagues on the city commission chose not to pursue that. I thought it was probably the most important recommendation. The first report also said we should have human resources, should be more independent, so that employees, and remember, we've had quite a number of high-level employees make some very serious allegations about management practices. And those, and we didn't have a whistleblower ordinance at the time, if your listeners will recall. So a lot of these things structurally needed to be remedied. Now, obviously, it's obvious to me that the second grand jury, it's a whole new group of people, whole new group of 18 people that studied this for 6 months, took expert testimony over and over again, reviewed all the documents, and became very familiar with these circumstances. And they said, look, city, you didn't do enough. And so what they've recommended, it's very simple. They've recommended a few things. One is they recommended convene a citizen-led committee to review your structure, compare it to other like cities, and make recommendations for reform. Seems very straightforward to me. I think it's great. The second thing they said is convene a citizen-led committee, review your city code, all your laws, which are inconsistent over and over again. The city commission has been talking about that for many years, and make recommendations about how to move forward, improve our legislation, improve our code. Seems very straightforward to me again. The third thing they said is look at your planning board. You have conflicts. You have people on there maybe that have conflicts. You have people on there that maybe, when you select people for the planning board, you could be consistent with your code and have criteria so that we're all moving in the right direction. And it seems, again, very straightforward to me. Unfortunately, Michael, as you might know, and those who watched the meeting, I heard very little support to move any of this forward except for one other commissioner, and that's problematic.
Okay. City Commissioner Sam Kaufman, District 2 City Commissioner for the City of Key West on Good Morning Keys. So some of this obviously centering upon public process and participation. However, it was also mentioned in the meeting that we have what is it called? A city strong manager form of government, which typically the city manager's office, and there's a lot of internal oversight of this. Is there a conflict between our structure of government and the recommendations in the second grand jury report, whether it be conflicting with state law or the city charter or state statutes? Is there a conflict there? And does that overall need to be addressed as well?
Well, look, certainly myself, as a lawyer and as a community member, no one wants the city to pursue a process that would be outside of bounds of law. We want to follow the law, of course. Look, but also the city has a charter review commission, which means that we can convene a meeting. We can have a committee that gives advice to the manager and to the commission about the structure of our government. Look, we're all concerned about taxes. We're all concerned about our budget. And this year, we have to pay a special attention to our budget and taxes. And so when the city manager now has 3 assistant city managers, for example, how did that happen? Why do we have that? I mean, in the last 10 years, for the most part, we had 1 assistant city manager. We have a new department called Growth Management, which was created by the city manager. Why do we have a new department? How many departments do we need? How many layers of management do we need? And that's what the grand jury is really asking. And it's a fair question. So why would we as a commission, the leadership of City Hall, why would the city manager not want to take a look at this and say, we can be more efficient? And it's, to me, it's the red flag is consistent with how they, the other members of the city commission, outside of 1 or 2, they opposed having that internal auditor position or inspector general. We should be moving in that direction of more efficiency so that we can be better stewards of the taxpayer dollar and not just spend and spend and spend and raise taxes every year. As your listeners know, I am consistently against voting for higher taxes. I believe we need reduction in taxes, and that's very doable. And we're gonna see how that plays out coming up in the budget workshops in July.
Okay. City Commissioner for District 2, it is Sam Kaufman with us, also mayoral candidate in this year's election on Good Morning Keys. So the grand jury report apparently said public trust has been damaged by a number of issues that you have just referred to. But you have been talking about the need to reassure residents that the city is serious about fixing these problems that have been brought up. So what is the path forward then? How do we restore public trust?
Well, I think that we're going to have to do that after the election, quite frankly. When I'm mayor, we're going to have a lot more meetings. We're going to have a lot more public input, because in order to really come to the best decisions, it is proven. It's our experience that bringing people into City Hall, bringing those with the concerns and addressing those concerns head on, that's how we build public trust. Take, for example, at our city commission meeting, we had the item of the Southernmost Point redevelopment. The entire neighborhood was really up in arms. Why is this happening? How did we get here? The people who live in that neighborhood have legitimate concerns. And they told the commission, they said, you're not listening to us. You didn't tell us what's happening. And by the way, if you look at the agenda, very, very concerning. There was not even the drawings or the conceptual depictions of what that $4.5 million allocation was going to be. That's just one example. These examples are over and over and over again. So the path forward is to emphasize, first and foremost, public participation in every single decision we make. And that's how we're going to, and it's incremental. We're going to do it step by step, neighbor by neighbor, neighborhood by neighborhood. And whatever your issue is that you care about, if it's the roadway, if it's your street, if it's garbage collection, if it's parking, you come to City Hall, we're going to plug you in to the committee, the place to get the answers and to improve the situation, because we can all work together to get that done. But that's the culture that needs to change in City Hall. The City Hall that we have now is decisions are made behind closed doors. And even as a commissioner, I don't know how they're making these decisions. So I understand the frustration of these community members, but I see it even more profoundly because I see it over and over and over again.
Okay. Sam Kaufman, he's Commissioner of District 2, City of Key West, also mayoral candidate on Good Morning Keys. So the next step in terms of the grand jury recommendations appears to be you will be working with the city attorney, coming up with some specific recommendations for consideration at the next meeting.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to work with the city attorney's office. They have made themselves available. We're working on a first draft of to the fullest extent that we can adopt the recommendations, and we'll see what the vote is. I think 4 or 5 of the other city commissioners said that they were not going to be in favor of adopting these recommendations, which wasn't wasn't really mentioned in the Citizen newspaper article, but those who watched the meeting and observed the debate, I'm hopeful that there will be a different perspective brought at the next city commission meeting. But I'm certainly moving forward with those recommendations, and we'll see what happens.
And were there reasons given as far as why there may be objections to some of those recommendations? Was it the structure of the city, state statutes, et cetera? Or were there other reasons given at all?
The overall reason I heard was we're already doing all these things. So, number one, grand jury report number one shows that we're not already doing those things. Number two, again, this word we hear all the time, transparency, is really questionable to me because none of us, including as a commissioner, are seeing any of this work being done. And we're told that it's all tied to the budget process. That documentation, that review that we can look to see what actually the city is doing, we'll see in July. We're still in the beginning of May, and those of us who've been asking for these things have been asking for a series of months. And so again, it's not emphasizing public participation, and that's that at the root of a lot of our problems.
Okay. Well, boy, we've spent a lot of time on this topic, but it's a very important one. We're going to invite you back to talk about this and other topics as they progress. But let's just quickly touch on the Outer Mole lease, which the news reports say has been terminated by the Navy. Can you provide any clarity as to how we got to that point and where it stands now?
Yes. Unfortunately, this happened very quickly. I think it took city staff by surprise. And as your listeners know, this has serious potential economic impact on our boat races and events, and local businesses can be affected. But what happened was the city manager first sent a letter to the Navy commander stating that there was an interest in terminating the lease. My concern was that should have first come to the city commission, and it didn't. Regardless, the Navy commander sent a letter back and said, really, you cannot do that unilaterally. And by the way, if you cancel the lease, then that puts potentially the boat races at risk, and we have other concerns. It seemed that was the end of it because there was no further pursuit of terminating the lease on the part of the city. But then within a month, the Navy sends the letter saying we are terminating the lease, which they can do. So unfortunately, this puts the city in a difficult position to support the boat races because the Navy commander says in his letter that you all need to secure a real estate agreement with the Navy in order to use the Outer Mole for the boat races. So this has put the boat races in jeopardy. I'm sure that the organizers are working with the city diligently to try to scramble to get this done, but this has not been handled in the best way, obviously, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how the boat races and what they look like this year.
Okay. Well, we'll continue to provide updates as that information becomes available. And then finally, we did have a Lower Florida Keys Hospital District Board meeting. It's my understanding that would have happened yesterday. There was a possibility of delaying the approval of a request for proposals for the Hospital District Board and the operation of the hospital going forward. Can you provide an update as to what occurred at that meeting?
Absolutely. Yeah, I attended the meeting just like I have over the last 2.5 years, all of the meetings. And, first of all, we have a great board appointed by the governor. It's the Lower Florida Keys Hospital District Board. A new member was seated at this meeting. That's Dr. Stephen Oppenheimer. I expect him to be a great board member. He replaced Nancy Swift. Nancy Swift was an excellent board member. I publicly stated I really hope she reapplies to the board because she really added a lot of value to the board. But anyway, so that was the big news partially of the meeting. The other big news out of the meeting was that there is a delay. There's some technical reasons under Florida statutes that the attorneys uncovered that are advising the board from the Ackerman firm. And basically, it is expected at the next meeting in June that they will finalize the request for proposals for the new operator for the hospital, but it won't be published until July because of the time frame that's needed for these technical notices that need to go out and another report that needs to be brought concerning the fair market value of the hospital. There's a lot of technicalities to this, but I'm very pleased overall. The RFP looks really good, and it's so important to so many members of our community that we have a strong hospital and we have the health care that we need so that we could stay here. Many people are move away, and one of the main reasons I hear is because of the need for health care. So this is a major focus of mine and will continue to be.
Well, thank you for your focus in so many different directions. You spent a lot of time being prepared and informed and advocating for what you believe is right for the citizens of Key West. So thank you for that, sir. You can find out more about the campaign, by the way, KaufmanForKeyWest.com. Also, Sam is accessible. What is the best way to reach out to you, sir? Should anybody have questions or comments or concerns?
I would love to speak with all of you. Anyone listening, you can text me or call me on my personal cell phone, 305-304-5848. That's 305-304-5848. My cell phone is published as a city commissioner. It will remain that way when I'm mayor. You could reach me directly, or you can email me at the campaign. That's sam@kaufmanforkeywest.com. Please visit our Facebook page, Sam for Mayor of Key West, and look at our website at kaufmanforkeywest.com. You can get a lot of information on the issues and all the events coming up and so on.
Very well. Well, Sam, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We will visit with you again soon. And with that, we wish you a very good day, sir.
And same to you and all your listeners. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you very much, Sam. Take care. Sam Kaufman, he is Commissioner at District 2. You can find out more about his run for mayor as well. KaufmanForKeyWest.com. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. Thank you so much for listening. It is time to join with Glenn Beck.